Hello my friends on YouTube. Hello 1 in a million people. This is Eunice Chan that is bringing you a brand new YouTube video. And today we are going to dive into talking about the 5 mistakes that I made when I first started my meditation journey, and what are some of the common mistakes that you can avoid for yourself so that you can have a better experience in your meditations, you can optimize your meditations, and ultimately get more out of it. Because I believe that, so far I have meditated for almost 2 years now, and I've definitely had my ups and downs, and I've made my mistakes, and I have spent a lot of time asking questions that aren't really deriving very helpful answers. And so my intention of bringing you this video today is to help you tweak your meditation practice so that you can really focus on enjoying your practice. All right, so if you're ready, let's dive in. But before we do that, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. And if you like this video, if you're liking this kind of content, please support me by giving me a massive thumbs up so that I know that you're digging this kind of content. So the first thing a lot of meditators make is make it a transactional action. So what does that mean? When I first started meditating, it felt a lot like I was doing it so that I can get something. I was making sure that it's done on my checklist so that I can get something out. I can get an emotional benefit, I can get a reward, I can get some clarity, I can get more productivity done, I can earn more money, I can be more successful in my business, I can connect with people better. And so it's always for an outcome. It's always for an external outcome. But what I've realized is when I start to think this way, I got discouraged very easily, because when that external reward is not coming into my world, a lot of times it felt like, oh, nothing's happening. What's the whole point of doing this? And so it feels really discouraging. It feels like, I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. I don't know why I'm carrying on with this. But when it really sunk in, and when I really came back to the purpose of why I am doing this, or when you go back to your purpose of why you are meditating in the first place, it really boils down to you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for yourself and nobody else, not because of some external reward, not for more money, not for a better job, not for a promotion, not for people to reward you, but you're meditating because you want to come home to yourself. So this is how you address number 1 mistake, which is not making it a transactional action, but really doing it for your well-being. Number 2 is rushing your results, trying to go as deep as possible. And when I'm referring to going deep, I'm referring to what a lot of people refer to as having visions, hearing things and seeing things, and seeing things in their meditations, going into a completely different state, or a trance-like state, or feeling numb in their fingers and their body. What I've realized is when I started to have these heightened, super inflated expectations, it felt like I was forcing myself. I was pushing myself to go further. It was a very unnatural feeling, and as a result of that, it felt like my meditation practice was stagnant. But going deep is actually a natural thing that happens when you are not denying yourself from your current experience, your current experience being just what it is. So when you tell yourself you want to go deeper, right? When you have this dialogue to yourself, you're essentially telling yourself, well, my current experience is not enough, and as a result of that, I want to go deeper. I want to have that more experience. I want to have a more enriched experience. So in turn, you're actually telling yourself, my current experience is not enough, or I'm not satisfied enough, or I'm not going deep enough. By honoring and appreciating your current experience as it is right now, like really just feeling into what you're experiencing, just completely enjoying what your experience has for you right now, that is actually the path to go deeper. I know it sounds a little counterintuitive to kind of just like let go and drop the expectations, and then, that is your way to go deeper. But you don't have to chase after an experience that is completely made up in your head, meaning that when you've created this scenario that you can in fact go deeper by forcing it, you're creating like this imaginary vision. But instead you can just let go and just be in the moment and enjoy your meditation experience exactly for what it is, exactly what it has for you, exactly for what you're realizing and feeling and experiencing. And then that is a path for you to go deeper. Now, the third mistake that I made with my meditations was that I tried to clock in as many hours as possible. And this is actually like really difficult for me to tone down the hours, because in my mind, I thought that the more hours I meditate, the better, because, Tibetan monks, they're able to do like probably 6 hours of meditation, 4 to 6 hour meditation a day, 4 to 6 hours of meditation. And so I thought that in order for me to go into a really deep state, I have to meditate for as long as possible. But it does not actually need to be long in order to be effective. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that I've made, was that I tried to force myself to sit down for a very long time when my body was just resisting it. I was not having any more fun. And it became a really difficult experience to just like force myself to sit down. And so what I came to realize when I took myself out of this like counting hours game was that I made it about my presence. I made it about my enjoyment and fulfillment of the meditation in itself, instead of just trying to clock in the hours. And you don't have to try to fulfill as many hours as possible in order to have a good meditation experience. You don't have to. And I think that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions I have had in the past, was thinking that if I meditated for more hours, it would mean that I derived more results. So that was definitely a game changer for me. Number 4 mistake that I want to share with you is the all or nothing concept. Okay, so you probably have done this before, like thinking to yourself, oh, if I don't have time to meditate right now, or if I don't have 20 minutes right now, then I'm not going to do it at all, right? So it's like, well, what's the point of doing it at all if I don't have this chunk of time readily available? So what happens is that you're discounting the power of 3 to 5 minutes, or even just like 1 minute of sitting still, closing your eyes, being with your own breath, and allowing yourself to be consistent, even if it were just for a tiny, tiny amount. When we actually allow ourselves, this is what I've learned, right? This is when we actually allow ourselves to be consistent. So we're catching our awareness more often, like more times in the day. It actually helps us optimize our energy. It helps us to be more effective. It helps us to really recalibrate a lot faster at any given moment, so that we don't have to wait a longer period of time until we do another longer meditation. You see what I'm saying? So instead of waiting for, let's say, like just telling yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, for example, I'll do a 20-minute meditation tomorrow. Instead of saying that, you can just sit down and do a short 5-minute meditation right now. And then that recalibration in itself can really help you bring yourself back into the moment, reshift your focus, right? Like it's kind of like oiling up your gears, and then carry you on to whatever it is that you need to do. So your day kind of goes a lot smoother instead of like holding your breath and waiting for the opportunity so that you can meditate. The fifth thing that happened for me when I started meditating, the fifth mistake is comparing yourself to other people's progress. And this happens especially when you see that people are having incredible, mind-blowing, out of this world experiences, and you feel like, well, my meditations are nowhere near the same. It's not as incredible or magical or phenomenal as what this person described. Doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. It's going to feel really easy for us to feel like there's something wrong with us. It's going to feel really easy to compare ourselves. But let me ask you this question. How can you possibly have an incredible experience if your mind is so focused on what other people are experiencing? Doesn't matter what they're experiencing, doesn't matter how far or how experienced they have gone, or how much more they have achieved in their meditations, how much more they've seen in their meditations. How can you possibly have your own experience if what your experience is only of your observation of someone else's? You see what I'm saying? And so my point being, when you actually come back to your own experience, when you come back to focusing on yourself, that becomes your own experience. When you start looking at yourself, when you start really processing, what is my experience, instead of putting your center of attention outwards at other people. So those are my top 5 mistakes and things to look out for when you start your meditation journey. I hope this really helped you, because it has certainly shifted my meditation practice by a lot. And please comment down below, what was your biggest takeaway? What has shifted for you in helping to improve your meditation practice? And again, if you love this video and if you like the contents of this video, please give me a massive thumbs up so that I know you're in love with this content, so that I can produce more of this stuff. And make sure to subscribe to my channel. And with that said, thank you for joining me on this video today, and I will be seeing you in the next video.